You're listening to the Teach Better Talk podcast featuring expert educators eager to share progressive tactics to reach more students. Teach Better Talk is created by teachers and fueled by passion. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 248 of Teach Better Talk. My name is Ray Hewert, and as always, I am with my obnoxious co-host, Jeff. How's your Monday? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. My cat decided it was time to start yelling at me, so he's here.
Hey,
so
Mittens.
If you hear him, that's what's going on here.
Yeah.
He misses you. It's good. It's been a good Monday. It was exciting. I got to work on the website today, which is always fun. I don't always get to do that, so it's been fun. So updates coming to the website. Actually, by the time this episode comes out, there should be some new refresh pages and stuff, so that's exciting.
That is exciting.
And I bugged a whole bunch of people on our team today, which is always fun too. Shot off a lot of little messages, including bugging you with a bunch of stuff. So it's been a good Monday, you know? I can't complain.
Yeah, it's funny because I know that people go to the blog site all the time on our website, or maybe they go to listen to a podcast, but there's actually a lot of resources, like a lot over at teachbetter.com. So I encourage all of you to go click around a little bit because those new websites new website pages with some cool videos are definitely worth a watch. So if you haven't clicked recently, go click a bit. It's fun.
And just to be clear, for anybody who is worried, there's only one with me in it. So all the other videos are someone else.
Thank goodness.
So just stating that just in case.
Actually, so wait, all jokes aside, Jeff, for real, your video, which I know is on the About page for people who want to learn what the Teach Better team is all about, legitimately, it's actually really good. By the way, you actually did a really good job on that. I thought it was super cute.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Wait, really? I was very happy with it.
Honestly, I don't mind the video. I'm pretty happy with the video. I usually really don't like myself the way I look, sound, smell, anything.
You can't smell in the video, just to confirm.
There's a lower third that pops up on it that I don't like. I've changed the way we do that, and I want to fix it. So I need to go back and actually just re-upload with just that little change. No one else cares what I do. So
literally no one cares, but they're going to go watch the video, so get over it. It's fine.
Well, then you can tell me. If you go watch the video, tell me. It just doesn't, I don't like it as much. I think the new ones are better. That's all I'm saying.
Jeff Gargis, Mr. Sensitive. That's what this is.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Can we talk about the popcorn event?
Yes, that's where I'm like, all right, how do I segue to that? I guess that works. Can we talk about the popcorn event? I love that it's called the popcorn event.
I know, there was really no fancy way of calling it, because legitimately when this idea...
Not fancy. We're not fancy, Ray. No fancy here.
But the event wasn't intended to be fancy. The event was truly, our network likes to hang out. However, when we hang out on a live video, it's kind of a one-way communication, although we do get a lot in the comments, and the comments are great, but I like talking and seeing our friends. And so everyone a part of the Teach Better family who's in the private Facebook group, we literally were like, okay, can we get together with that group? Yes, let's give them a Zoom link. Awesome. If we're getting together on a Friday night, what seems like a natural thing that we all need? And then Becky was like, popcorn. And I'm like, perfect. It's the popcorn event. That's what it is.
Popcorn. Why not? So, all right. So it's on a Friday. So when this comes out, this is coming out on the 15th.
Yes.
This thing's happening so that when you're listening right now, it's this Friday, which is the
19th.
What date is it? The 19th.
Yep.
At what time?
It's at 8 o'clock Eastern on February 19th. So you should right this moment, go write that down in your calendar, because you definitely don't want to miss it. It's only going to be an hour long, and we have a lot planned, and I don't want to spoil too many of the secrets, but Jeff, I think we should kind of tell people.
Okay, but first off, so real quick though, how do I get in? Because it's not we're not giving this out everywhere. You have to be in the Facebook group, correct? That's where we're going. That's the only place the link's going is in the Facebook group. That's it.
I know, but I actually have had so many times where I'm like, oh, I need to write an email that has the link in it. And I'm like, no, Ray, the link only goes in the Facebook group. You're not allowed to put it anywhere else. So if you're listening...
You can write an email that says, here's the link. It's actually in the Facebook group or something like that.
Yes, and maybe I will put that together. If you're listening, that will be our inside scoop. I literally just got this idea on the podcast. But for real, because we're going to post the link on the 19th. We're going to post it in the private Facebook group. You can just go to teachbettergroup.com or just search Teach Better Team on Facebook. And we're going to pin it to the top so it's super easy to grab. And you need to make sure you click on it and you're ready for the party with either a bowl of popcorn, a soda, adult beverage. You decide what you want. at 8 o'clock Eastern. I'm so excited.
All right, so now spill the beans on at least some of the details, like what's going on during this thing.
Okay, so shout out to Becky Thal on our team and Megan Deegan, because we had this goofy popcorn idea and those girls have run a mile a minute with planning this event. And I am just flattered that they let me be a part of it. But essentially, we're all hopping on a Zoom call to like kind of get the 3 pillars of the Teach Better team. We want a little bit of inspiration. We want a little bit of support, and then we want a massive amount of connections. And our goal truly is to be like, hey, you are connected to people virtually. You should get to know them a little bit better. So put on your fuzzy slippers and grab a little popcorn and let's laugh a little bit. And that's honestly the goal, is just to get people talking and laughing. So we're going to start with a little bit of an introduction. You kind of get to hang out with some people that you're probably familiar with on the Teach Better team. And then we're going to go into breakout groups. And you're going to be in a breakout group with a small number of people. You're going to go around and say hi. You're going to talk, introduce yourself, share your voice. That's what I always tell my students, Jeff. I'm like, all right, everyone, let's share our voices, right? Because we're always virtual. And when we do this, I am not telling you the game that you're going to be playing. However, I'm going to tell you that I tried to play it this weekend, and I really stunk at it. That's all I'm saying. Becky,
right, so we're going in breakout rooms and playing games.
Yes, we're going to breakout rooms and playing games, and you're going to be paired up in a small group with a Teach Better team member, an ambassador, and other members of the Facebook group. And you're going to be playing games. And the game is not easy. Megan and Becky put it together.
How come I wasn't asked to play the game? Am I not allowed in the rooms? Like, I haven't been told anything about being in a room.
Jeff, why are you so sensitive? You are involved in all of this. Like, literally, here's the deal.
I'm learning everything right now as you're telling everyone else.
Okay, that's true, because, Jeff, you're doing the ending message. So we will all come together at the beginning. We're going in breakout rooms, and then there's like a 10-minute ending that we're all going to have together with a few surprises. Because you're a part of that ending, Jeff, guess what? You get to participate in the entire event. So don't pretend like you're not fancy enough to participate.
I appreciate the invite. That's very nice.
Yeah, you're so sweet. Okay. It's going to be fun.
All right, so go to teachbettergroup.com or go on Facebook and search Teach Better Team. You'll find our page, but also the group. You got to get in the group. You have to be in there.
Yeah.
So you do that right now. So you're in the group. Then we post a link on Friday, and you're in the Zoom.
I have 2 tips to try and be better at the game than I was. Are you ready for my 2 tips?
Yes.
Okay. One is you should be somewhat familiar with the Teach Better team. So remember how we joked about like going on the website and clicking around? That's actually a really good idea for the game. I didn't think about that. So that would be really helpful for the game.
Interesting. Okay.
Second of all, you have to want to explore. Like you have to be willing to be a little inquisitive. That was something I was really not good at. And Becky and Megan were shaking their heads like, Ray, you're going to stink at this game if you don't start asking questions, start doing something. I was like, oh, okay, I'll work harder. So good luck to all of you. What's that phrase that people say from the movie? May the odds be ever in your favor. May
the odds be ever in your favor. Yeah, yes, that's in a movie.
Yeah, but there's a way that you say it that makes it cool. No?
May the odds be forever in your favor? I don't know.
Guys. Good luck on the stinking game. We'll see you on the 19th.
Say a very wealthy person who makes poor people fight to the death or something.
Guys.
I saw part of that movie.
February 19th, 8 o'clock at night. Grab a bowl of popcorn. We'll see you there.
Yes. Awesome. All right, let's get into this episode. Tyson Gardin is he's down in South Carolina. He's an assistant principal at a elementary school. We wouldn't even talk about this during the podcast, but did you know that Tyson was actually named Teacher of the Year?
No.
Yeah, by his colleagues. So
whoa.
Pretty awesome. So yes. Heck of a teacher. Ended up becoming a special ed teacher's assistant, and then eventually, now he's an assistant principal down in South Carolina. He's also a guest blogger over at teachbetter.com. He's also hosted our mastery chat, went live with us several times. I just like this dude.
Yeah.
He's just a good dude. I mean, I don't know how to explain it anymore. We had a great podcast, and super excited for everyone to just get connected with Tyson if you aren't already, and to hear his story. He's got some really great advice in here. And yeah, anything you want to pull from this for anybody to focus on?
Best dude ever. Go connect with him and let's do this.
I like it. Let's get in episode 248 with Tyson Gardin.
Hey everyone, we'll be right back to the episode, but I do have a little bit of an exciting event that I want y'all to be a part of. On February 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern, we are doing a private event where we are going to be sharing a Zoom link exclusively to our private Facebook group. And we are going to just all get together. We're going to hang out. We are going to encourage everyone to grab a bowl of popcorn. And this is going to be an important time for you to network with like-minded educators that are always pursuing better. Now, there are a lot of surprises coming, and I'm for sure not sharing them right now because those are only going to be shared in our private Facebook group. But if you want all the details and want access to that link that will be shared for our February 19th event at 8 o'clock Eastern, then I encourage you to go join the Teach Better Team private Facebook group over at teachbettergroup.com. All right, let's get back to the episode.
All right, we are here and we are chatting with Tyson Gardin. And Tyson, it is so awesome to have you on the podcast. We were just chatting before we hit record that you are one of our amazing guest writers over at teachbetter.com. So we love having you connected to the family. We love having you be a part of things like our blog and like our Twitter chat, all those types of things. So we're super excited to have you now on the podcast. I'm really excited to dive into your story, learn more about you, and share that with all of our listeners. But before we get too far into that, how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm excited to share my story as well because, it's kind of unique. So I'm excited to share about that.
Absolutely. Tyson, I feel like you're one of those people, though, that when I saw your name on the list, I was like, dude, how has he not been on the podcast? It's just so funny. Like, you've popped up so much in my world for the past few years that I'm like, oh my gosh, Tyson, it's like hanging out with old friends. So before we get into your story, which I am really excited for you to share as well, tell us a little bit about how you answer that age-old question of explaining kind of what you do. What do you do?
Well, first, now I'm an instructional leader. I'm an elementary assistant principal. So my focus is on classrooms. What are teachers doing? What are students doing? How can I get in there to, see what's going on, if you will? How do I know, if what's effective in the classroom if I can't get in there every day? So I established those collegial relationships with the teachers. So my principal and I have a non-negotiable. Every morning we take our walk and we do our rounds with our teachers. So we know what's going on. What do they need for the day? What can I do to help you? If there's any student issues or tech issues, or do you need books, or do you need class coverage, or what have you, or just how you're doing. So every day we establish those relationships. The other priority is making sure that we have an equitable program for our kids. Is everybody, have the same opportunities, have the same access to success. So everybody has high expectations, whether you're the lowest of the low or highest of the high, you're still held to that high standard. So that's really what I do on a daily basis.
I love it. I love the high standard and focus on that equity, make sure everybody has what they need in order to get access to that success. Let's talk about, I'm going to take us from the word success to the word failure, just because this is one of my favorite parts of the show is to ask this question. This is a question about a time that you've had a failure or a challenge and a struggle you had to overcome in your life. So can you kind of take us there with you, share a story about a time you've had that challenge, and then how did you overcome that, and what did you take away from that experience?
Well, it's kind of a two-parter for me, two sets of failures. I'll start first with teaching, just thinking it was about me. I always developed the lesson plans with my interest. Oh, I would really love this. Oh, or I thought this was fun. But then when you implement it, put it in your class, and the kids are kind of like, and it's like, well, why didn't they like it? So, thinking that mindset of, students are going to do what teachers tell them to do. That's how I grew up. It was old school. Whatever the teacher did, we just did. Whatever teacher told us to do, we just did it. But I remember having that professional development on student engagement and really starting to listen and taking my career seriously. And hearing about student voice and student choice and those strategies for middle school students, because that's where I was for, the majority of my career, and just having them provide that input. And then things started to turn around and starting to go, oh, light bulb on it. If they feel like they have a voice, they feel like, they have some input in what's going on, they're all of a sudden they're more engaged, making it more relevant. So finding that out helped me tailor my lessons towards the student and towards their interest and not my own. So that was the first like failure where like, okay, I got to learn that it's not about me, it's about the students.
I love it though, and that's such an important lesson to pull out of that. The fact that the more we understand our students and what they connect to, what's relevant to them, what gets them fired up, what gets them passionate and excited about stuff, the more we can connect our content there, and therefore get them excited about learning and growing. So I love that. That's awesome. So let's flip it now. Let's talk about a successful moment you had. This could be something big or something small, but same thing. Kind of take us there with you. What happened? Why was it a success for you? And then what'd you take away from that experience?
Well, I had this project that I did with health. So when I took over health at my school, a previous school, health was always this, everybody remembers middle school health. It was the worst thing on the planet. So my goal was to make it bearable, not the worst thing on the planet. So we were talking about health and we're talking about nutrition. So I discovered these 5 blue zones in the world where people live the longest and their lifestyle changed. And I found how to make it relevant to our students. So I had them come up with a project to make our town a blue zone, like these 5 places in the world, Loma Linda, California, Sardinia, Italy, Ikaria, Greece, Nicoya, Costa Rica, and Okinawa, Japan. So we took some of their lifestyles, some of their characteristics, and we really just brought them to life, how we could bring them to our town. Not necessarily, we can't be an isolated village, but what can we take from there to prolong our life, to change our lifestyle, to add more years to our life? So that was a huge project, and we ended up, doing it over several times. And then we ended up making dishes for local restaurants, creating dishes that were based in the country that they drew out of a hat. So you would go to the local restaurant here that, one of them was a barbecue place, and they had a chance to impact change. So their scenario was, all right, we're all going out to eat. We're all going to eat barbecue, but we have this vegan friend. What from these Blue Zone principles can we learn and incorporate into this menu? So they created that menu, they marketed it to the restaurant, and then we collaborated with the high school culinary class to create the dish and make it come to life. So every group did that in a particular grade, and we had the restaurants come, watch, present, and then we all ate, and it was one of the most awesome things ever. And to think that these kids are middle school kids, to think healthy eating and getting them excited about it, that was one of the biggest success stories I think I had in my teaching career.
Oh, Tyson, every time I hear that story, I get chills. This is my favorite thing when educators truly start to value bringing the purpose of their instruction into their classroom at the forefront of what students are working towards. Holy moly, I love this. And I've heard you speak on this before, and I know we're on a podcast right now, but you light up as you tell this story. And I think that is one of the most incredible moments for educators, when you can hear their stories and you can kind of hear them light up sharing about these incredible experiences and learning opportunities they've created for students. So I love that you shared that as one of your major celebrations. So cool.
Yeah, I really love that. I really love that project. It was so awesome. And I love just getting fired up about it, just thinking about it now. And I miss not being able to do that right now.
Yeah, but it's something that everyone can duplicate. If you're listening right now, go find the relevancy of your content and see if people can get involved, whether the community directly gets involved like you shared, or even if they only took that project or activity halfway and they just explored the restaurant menus virtually. I mean, there are so many ways to use that information and adapt. And so I think your example is so spot on to what we should all be aspiring to build our classrooms into. It's so, so cool.
Thank you.
When it comes to what keeps you excited, because I think there's a lot in education that I've heard you share on, that you've already shared here, that does get you excited and like fuels your fire. So if you had to pinpoint something right now that's really fueling your fire and exciting you about what you're doing in education, what would that be?
I think right now, as a whole, education has the opportunity to change what it's been. For several hundred years, it's go to a building, sit in rows in a desk, and listen to a teacher stand and deliver. Right now, this pandemic has shown that how we can, get outside the walls, how everybody can do that, how a teacher can do that, whether it's simply getting on a Zoom call or, connecting with another class across the country or even across town. School has this huge opportunity to change the way we do things. We have hybrid schedules right now. Some are virtual, some are in the building, some are out of the building, and it just mimics what our workforce looks like today. And school has the world of education has this opportunity to change that model forever. Like, we're kind of like guinea pigs right now, and we're seeing what's working and what's not working and what's tweaking and how we can go forward in the use of technology. So that's one thing. And another thing is how we can teach with anyone. We can, if I don't know something, I can connect with a class in South Dakota if I want to. And we can have class together because technology allows that. We don't have to do this alone. The next thing is the professional learning networks, and being able to connect on Twitter or connect on Mastermind makes it so much easier for someone in a smaller town like me to connect with someone in Canada or, LA or Chicago or what have you, and just being able to get advice from people that do the same thing that I do, but they're not in my building. And that's what really fires me up about education.
Ugh, I love that. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I want to move to your piece of advice. I know that every single educator that, is striving to carry that teach better mindset, trying to be better every single day, really values question 5, focused on one piece of advice that you want teachers to truly consider. What's that piece of advice for you?
Relationships. It's really what it comes down to. You can be the best teacher in the world. You can have the best lesson plans in the world. You can be the most qualified individual there is. But unless they know you care, they're not listening. Until they find out that you care about them, they're not going to listen to you. You need to find out who they are for you to be an effective teacher. Once you find out who they are, and once they know you care, then you can proceed. Then your classes will run a lot smoother. But knowing who they are, develop those relationships is so important. That's the advice that I would give.
I love that, and it goes right back to your I think it was your failure story when you talked about you got to get to know them first, right? It can't just be what you think is great or what someone says it is. You got to get to know them first. You got to figure out who they are, what they connect with, what's going to get them fired up, and you have to have the relationship. They've got to know that you care about them, right? And by having that connection with them and getting to know them and understand them, they're going to feel that from you. They're going to understand that you care about them and you want to help them, and they're more likely to learn and grow. I love that. Great advice. Let's keep having some fun here, Tyson. We're going to do the next 6 questions. I'm going to throw them at you. Your goal is to answer each one in 15 seconds or less. You ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. What is one ed tech tool you cannot live without?
Right now, it's Microsoft Teams. Can't live without it.
Give us a book you're reading right now.
The Assistant Principal 50 by Baruti Kefele.
Who do you need to follow on Twitter or Instagram today?
2 people. Basil Marin, if you care about equity or student empowerment, Dr. Basil Marin is your guy. Another guy that I met through Mastermind, Brad Hughes, great about leadership, student teacher success.
What's a good YouTube channel, website, or podcast for educators to check out?
I got two. Just mentioned Brad Hughes' Good News, Brad News. The Principal Crew podcast by Adam Welcome. If you're into leadership, I'm sure there's other great, obviously Teach Better is a good podcast. So that's three. That's what I'd say, three.
I like it. Give us a daily, weekly, or monthly routine every educator should get into.
I think daily you should show your human side. People need to know that you're human.
And lastly, let's wrap it up. Best piece of advice you've ever received?
Listen some more, and then follow what your people are telling you.
I don't know if I could love that anymore.
Yes, my goodness.
That's so much.
Gold. So good.
Ray,
Tyson,
I really think he was talking to you. I think you need to listen to me more and then follow what I do. I really think that's what he was trying to say very subtly. I appreciate that.
Jeff, it's really awkward because he told me in the beginning before we started recording that his piece of advice was actually for you, that you need to listen to me and then follow. Yeah. Sorry, buddy.
Tyson, we're going to need a tiebreaker here.
Well, I'm thinking probably Ray's going to be right if we're being honest.
Yes!
All right. I'm going to share a quick story that goes along with that. That happened today, Tyson. I assigned a task, I think, to 5 different people on our team. And a lot of times when we're like, in our base camp, which is our task management system, like, you'll give like, hey, when you're done with your task, do this or whatever. And my do this was, hey, when you're finished, comment below and comment Ray is the real boss. And they all 5 did it with 0 question. In fact, a couple of them added a little something to it, a little salt in the wound. So everyone already knows it. That's what I do. I just try to listen and follow. I don't know who I was kidding.
Such nerds. Tyson, I am honored to award you the Teach Better Talk trophy of this incredible episode. And before we end these shenanigans, I do want to make sure that our guests get to connect with you, because you're not only obviously a guest blogger and in the Teach Better family in so many ways with the mastermind, and you jump into lives all the time and everything in between. But I want people to make sure they actually can find you on Twitter and Instagram and all the places in between. So would you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Sure. Twitter is just my name, Tyson Gardin, TysonGardin. Same with Facebook. It's just my name. And Instagram is at TYG1979. And, I love to connect with people. So looking forward to it.
And you can find all the links, all the resources, and everything we talked about in this episode over at teachbetter.com, as well as those really important links for connecting with Tyson and keep this conversation going. So head over to teachbetter.com for all of that. Be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming episodes. And if you can give us a rating and a review, we'd really appreciate that as well. Let's keep taking this one step further. Think of just 3 of your colleagues who need to hear these amazing stories and connect with these amazing educators. And just share this podcast with them. Tyson, man, this was awesome. I'm so happy we got to have you on. I'm so just honored, and it's such a blessing to have you in our network and to be connected with you and to learn and grow with you all the time. I really, really appreciate you coming on and just hanging out with us a little bit, man. Thank you.
I really appreciate this opportunity as well. I love everything Teach Better does. I'm thrilled that you guys have invited me in and let me be a part of this. So excited about it. It was an honor for me as well to share this conversation with you.
Awesome. And until next time, let's get out there and let's teach better.